Hi everyone. In this video lesson, we learn to find the volume of the right circular cone. So as you can see on the screen, the volume of the cone is given as V is equal to 1 by 3 pi r square h cubic units. Okay. So how we got this formula? You see, we know the formula to find the volume of the cylinder is pi r square h, right? Okay. So just assume that I have a cylinder, right circular cylinder of radius just 5 centimeter, and also on the other hand I have a cone of same radius which is 5 centimeter. Okay, just imagine that I have to fill this right circular cone with this volume, okay, by using the volume. Okay, now if I want to fill that right circular cylinder by using this volume, I have to take okay, any liquid you can consider, like petrol, diesel or anything. Okay, just imagine, you're going to that kirana store and you're buying some kerosene or something. Okay, you have a can with a in the shape of a right circular cylinder, and the liters, the measurement of liters are in this cone shape, right? Okay, now if you want to fill that tricircular cone, you have to take, or you have to measure 3 times to fill the right circular cylinder. Okay, so imagine that, so this is the liquid inside. Okay, whatever the liquid, water or any other liquid. Okay, so C1, which means you have to take 3 times. I already told you. So you are taking one time and just pouring into this, and you're taking another time and pouring into this, another time, and you're pouring into cylinder. So what happens, in order to fill the right circular cylinder of 5 centimeter radius, you have to take 3 times, or you have to fill the cone 3 times and pour it to the right circular cylinder of same radius 5 centimeter, so that it will get filled. So what do you understand by this demonstration is nothing but the volume of the right circular cylinder is pi r square h, and since you have to fill 3 times, right, to the cylinder, so the volume of the cone is 1 by 3 pi r square. 1 by 3 is nothing but, you have to find 3 times to the cylinder, so third of the 1 by third of the cylinder volume. So that's why it is mentioned with V is equal to 1 by 3 pi r square h cubic units. Okay, now, so already it is given. You see here, 3 into volume of cone is equal to volume of the cylinder pi r square h cubic units. So volume of the cone is equal to 1 by 3 pi r square h cubic units. Okay, right. Now let us move on to the example sum. Example 7.19. The volume of the right circular cone is 11088 centimeter cube. If its height is 24 centimeter, then find the radius of the cone. So as usual, you write the description. Solution: let R and H be the radius and height of the cone respectively. So what is the volume given? Given the volume of the cone is equal to 11088 centimeter cube. Now what is the volume formula? 1 by 3 pi r square h is equal to, so you have to evaluate in the same formula so that you can get the result, or you can find the radius. Now see, we can solve this here somewhere. So now listen, up to this you can note down 1 by 3 pi r square h is equal to 11088. Now 1 by 3 value is written, pi value is 22 by 7, r value we don't know, we have to find r, and h value is 24, right? So I hope you understood this step. Now next step we'll do here. Now what I do, I'll just leave this r here. R square is equal to, I'll take everything that side. First 11088 into, what the first one, 1 by 3, it becomes 3 by 1, and next one is 22 by 7, which is 7 by 22, and next one is, it was 24 height, it can be written as 1 by 24, right? Okay. Now what I do, 22 110 is equal to how much? You will get 22 5s are 110. We can add 1 0 here because we are directly cancelling it. 22 4s are 88. Okay, now is equal to 504 into 3 into 7 into 1 by 24, right? Now 24 2s are 48. You will have a remainder 1, sorry 2. Now again 124 here. When you have a remainder 22 2s are 48, in 50 you will get a remainder 2. When you take carry over this, you will get 24 here. 21 24 ones are 24, so what will get 21 into 3 into 21, right? So when you multiply this, you will get 21 into 21, which is equal to r square is equal to 441. Okay, so when you apply root, r is equal to, and here r is equal to root of 441. You can easily identify the square root because we multiplied 21 into 21 to get 441. So root of 441 is nothing but 21 centimeter. Okay. Okay guys, I hope you understood this sum. So the radius of the cone is 21 centimeter. Okay. We'll move on to the next example sum. What is the next example we have? The ratio of the volumes of two cones is 2:3. Find the ratio of their radii if the height of second cone is double the height of the first cone. So just note down this condition. The height of the second cone is double the height of the first cone, which can be written as h2 is equal to 2h1. Okay. Now we have two cones here, so we name it as radius r1 and h1, height h1, and for a second cone we can name it as r2 and h2, right? So let r1 and h1 be the radius and height of the cone 1, and let r2 and h2 be the radius and height of the cone 2. So we have two cones because the ratio of volumes of two cones, the question itself they have mentioned two cones, ratio is 2:3. Okay. Now what is given that h2 is equal to 2h1. So what is the condition here? The height of the second cone, so height of the second cone is h2, right, is double the height of the first cone. So first cone height is h1, so double is 2, right? Okay. Now so h2. Now volume of the first cone divided by volume of the second cone, 2:3. We know that ratio can be written like this. 2:3 can be written as 2/3 also. Okay. Now so volume of the first cone. So we know volume of the cone 1/3 pi r square h. Since we name as r1 and r2 and h1 and h2, we have to mention with the same name. Okay. So 1/3 pi r1 square h1 divided by 1/3 r2 square h2. Okay. Now here what happens? This will get cancelled and this also get cancelled because you can divide directly. And what is the remaining we got? r1 square r2 square h2. Okay, because here we don't have a same variable because here r1 and this is h2 and then h1 and this h2. So we can take this here is equal to 2/3. So we can write it as another step here I can include. Okay, so like r1 square h1 is equal to r2 square h2 is equal to 2/3. Okay, before moving this, after this writing this step, you write this step. Okay, got it? Okay, now, so after writing that, so what you got? Now you see, since h2 is equal to 2h1, we can replace that value. Okay, so how you replace? The next step, r1 square by r2 square into h1 by 2h1 is equal to 2 by 3. Okay, you see why I am writing this h1, because it was h2. In the condition what they have given, the height of the second cone is double the height of the first cone, so that's why it is 2h1, right? So what do you do in the next step? r1 square divided by r2 square is equal to h1 by, sorry, into h1 into h1 by h1. Take this 2 that side, what happens to this? 2 by 3 into, this is division, it goes as multiplication, so you will get, I hope you have noted down this step. We'll move on to the next step. Okay, so in the next step what happens? r1 square by r2 square into h1 divided by h1 is equal to, so it was 2 into 2, right? So 4 by 3, got it? Okay, now this will go off because it has same height, right? h1 and h1. So what is the remaining? We got r1 square divided by r2 square is equal to 4 by 3. Okay, now since both are squares, we'll square root here. So r1 by r2 is equal to both square root of 4 by 3, right? Now what is the remaining? We got r1 by r2 is equal to, so the square root of 4 is 2, but we don't have a square root of 3, so we cannot square, so we can write as 2 by root 3. Okay, so r1 divided by r2 is equal to 2 by root 3. Okay, so now you see we have r1 divided by r2 is equal to 2 by root 3. So ratio for radial, r1 is to r1, we can write as 2 is to root 3. Okay, okay, I hope you understood this, both the example sum. So we'll meet in the next video lesson. So we'll learn about sphere in the next video lesson. So hope you practice all this example sums. Okay, so after once we complete, we'll conduct the test. Thank you.